Ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything on there.
Okay.
Go?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Today we're talking about labor burden because did you know that asking strangers, like in Facebook groups, how much you should be charging for labor, it's really not the best idea.
No.
Even if you're asking other landscaping business owners. And I know this sounds a little crazy because you're used to just thinking like, oh, it's okay to just go ahead and charge, what everybody else is charging. And while it is important to have an idea of what like industry standards are, especially like in your local area, you can't just like go off of other people's numbers, so because even if you're asking other landscaping business owners, their business isn't your business, and so you need to be making your decisions based off of your numbers.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with this, we're Scott and Katie Molchan, and we're the hosts of the Million Dollar Landscaper podcast and creators of the Million Dollar Academy. And we've helped dozens of landscape business owners just like you figure out their numbers based on their business, like Katie said.
Mhm.
That's so important. So what is the most important thing to remember about labor costs? Is that you have to account for them and charge enough to cover your labor burden.
Yeah.
Your employees cost you more than just like their average wage, So if you pay a person $13 an hour, it costs more than that. So any type of benefit that you provide for them comes as a cost to you. So if you provide them insurance, you can pay time off, sick days,
Pay for their phones, anything
cars
like
or whatever. And that just increases your labor. And it's everything your employees cost your company above and beyond the normal pay.
Yeah, so we're going to share with you 3 tips about labor burden and how you can make sure that you are charging enough to recoup your costs and make a profit. So we're going to show you a great way to understand labor burden and just make sure that you don't make the mistake of leaving it out so you can feel really good about your estimates.
All right. Change screens here. So the first tip is you might be undercharging for labor.
Yeah.
The big idea here is that you aren't including labor burden in your pricing, and you don't know how much your employees are actually costing you. This is important because if you're putting together an estimate, you don't have a place for labor burden, then you're missing out on a piece. Your estimate is incomplete. It's like leaving the cost of grass seed out when you're doing a lawn installation estimate.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you have it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yes, it's just like literally a piece of it is gone.
Yep.
So the second tip is if you're not charging for labor burden, that cost has to still be recovered somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so the main thing here to understand is just because if you're not charging for it, this doesn't like just magically go away or not matter. Mm-hmm. And this means that if you are not specifically charging for it and putting it in correctly, then that is going to come out of your profits because that money has to come out of somewhere. And so many people think that they're making money on each and every job, but this is one of those little sneaky ways that your profits can be getting eaten up and you're not going to be making as much as you thought. So, and you might not even realize that this is happening.
Yeah. And the third tip is that this is really easy to figure out.
It is.
You don't have to be an accountant or have a master's in business to calculate this out. This is a key because the proper tools, you can fix the problem and figure this out in really like 10 minutes this afternoon.
Yeah. If you've got the right stuff, It does not take that long. So
now I know what you're thinking. Numbers really aren't my thing. Well, the tricky thing is you can't afford not to figure this out.
Yeah. So we have developed a spreadsheet so you can easily calculate out your labor burden. You don't have to use like complicated, like it's really expensive software for something like this. You really don't. And you don't have to worry about doing the calculations because we have put it in a spreadsheet. You just put in the numbers from your business into the spreadsheet and it will do all of that math for you. So, and what this is going to do, it's going to get you on track just to make sure that you are indeed charging enough for your labor and that labor burden.
Mm-hmm. And as creators of the Million Dollar Academy who've learned from our mistakes of not knowing our true labor costs, what we do is make it easy for you to figure out your numbers so you don't have to make the same mistakes we did.
Oh, yeah. We have made every mistake that we point out and talk about. We are not like pointing fingers. It's because we have done them already.
Everything we're sharing is stuff that we've learned.
We've already done it.
Given to you. Yes.
Yeah. So I think Scott
I'm
has the spreadsheet.
Run through here.
He can show you switching screens, doing things.
1 second here.
I'll see if we got any questions.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions along the way, please let me know.
Yeah, you can pop them in the Facebook comments here.
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
So we're going to hop in here. So we're just going to show you a little bit of our labor burden spreadsheet, average wage spreadsheet. Zoom in so you can actually see it. So this is just a quick recap of the whole spreadsheet here. Pretty much everything that's in the green are items that you have to enter in, and items that are in the gray are items that are going to be calculated out for you. So you don't really want to touch anything that's in those. So I'll zoom in
the
here.
Gray. Yeah. Are those locked out or?
I believe so.
Yeah. Because if you mess up any of the, I don't know if you're not familiar with Excel spreadsheets, if you mess around with the calculations, it could screw it all up. So I thought we said it so they're locked, so you can't mess them up.
So there are some numbers you do have to put in initially to get it set up properly. And it's based on your area's, taxes and FICA and FUTA and SUTA. So some of this stuff is standard throughout the United States, and we have those numbers in here. If you're from another country, you may have to change them that a little bit.
Yeah, and some different state stuff from different states will be different, and some of these items are specific to your business.
Yeah. So if we hop down here, zoom a little bit on that, we do have to put in your FICA, your FUTA, your SUTA. Now, the next part is those are pretty much standard and those are in here already. But the workman's comp, general liability, if you have any umbrella policies, you may have to talk to your accountant or your insurance person, and they can help you get those numbers put in here.
Yes, those will be specific to you.
Yep. So then we'll hop back up to the top here. And this is kind of where we start off. So we start off by putting in the names of your employees. Let me zoom a little bit.
Yeah, Scott just made up people and put them in for this example.
So I just put in 4 employees right now, and I put their hourly rate. So example here is Brian's $13 an hour, Joe is 15, Katie is 15, and Tom is 18. They work a standard 40-hour week. Plus, they also have additional about 10 hours on the average of overtime. And then you put in the weeks of year. So Brian works only 39 weeks per year. The rest of them work 42. And then it starts calculating out some of their, yearly average wage or the yearly wage. So
Brian, it does your hours, like your standard hours, your base hours, then it does your wage.
Yeah. And then that calculates out your yearly wage. So for example, for Brian, just doing his normal $13 an hour, it comes to $27,885. We're going to continue with Brian all the way across it and just make it easy. So we'll scroll across here. So then we start adding in our FICA, our FUTA, our SUTA, and all that. There is a column here if you're local area
taxes. Yes. We have a county tax where we live, but I know not everywhere has that.
So you can put that in here. Again, your workman's comp, general liability. If you have an umbrella policy, it needs to be added in here. But
those will be calculated from the things you put in the bottom.
And then we start getting to some of the benefits, and this is where you're going to enter some stuff in. So if you offer your employees insurance, this is going to raise up that labor.
And you put in the annual amount for insurance, what you pay annually, not like if you pay like $100 a month. Just
it's labeled up there yearly. And uniforms, if you provide any uniforms. So as you can see, for Brian now, we went from $27,000 to now $33,000 is what he's costing. But we also offer him vacation time. So he is getting 24 hours of vacation time per year. So again, that's more time or more money. So Brian went from I believe he was $13 employee to a $19 employee with everything. So that's a huge change. That's not even
without profits or anything yet. This is just what he is costing your company.
Yeah. So the key idea here is to understand that if you're thinking you're just taking the average wage you're paying your people and putting that in your estimates, you are not estimating properly. You're leaving out money that,
employees cost you more than you think if you don't add it all up. So.
Yeah. So, but the whole thing here is, like I said, is just to make sure you understand you're charging enough. And you can scroll down here based on these numbers that I just put in. These are just made up numbers. Our average wage is $22.70 versus if you just did based on their normal pay is $15.25. So that's a huge change, when you're doing your estimates. So you have to be accounting for everything in here. So this is a quick run through on this spreadsheet here because we're trying to keep to the 5 minutes.
Yeah, we don't want to waste your whole day here. But
Stan says he has no tax services for Florida, so that's kind of nice, to deal with any of that stuff.
That is nice. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, in Indiana, we do.
Yeah.
But like Scott said, this is just a quick and easy kind of rundown. You can purchase this spreadsheet and it will come with a more in-depth video on how to use it and everything. And for people who are already a member of our $1 Million Academy, this comes standard inside of the Academy.
Mhm.
So members don't have to worry about, purchasing this separate. It's all already in there. So if you are ready for the next steps in your business and ready to learn more, go ahead and hit the button and you can get this spreadsheet.
All right, guys. We'll close this up here. We'll continue checking Facebook for any questions, and we appreciate you being here and look forward to talking soon. Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one.